It is the second day in November 2013, and we're at Hawkins Hall again to talk to a lot of the people who have been and will be going on the honor flight planes to Washington, D.C. to see their wonderful World War II memorial. Those people who are familiar with Hometown Cable and Our Little Corner. And even when Our Little Corner is not in business and Gordy's on vacation in Georgia, Calvin and Judy are covering these things, and it's so great to do so. It's important. I was talking with some of these veterans a few minutes ago, and they were telling me about some of their friends who just got their medals. Now what, 65, 70 years late? And they just shake their heads. Well, you know, all you have to do is turn on the television set and watch some of the news these days, and you might shake your head too. But it's very important for Calvin and me and Hometown Cable to be here where these wonderful veterans are, and many of them are well up into their 90s by now. And tonight they'll be showing that special movie again at Hawkins Hall, and hopefully every single seat will be sold out. We talked with Danny Kafitz a few minutes ago, and he's, as usual, running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to make sure everything is perfect for these vets and their handlers who will be here tonight. So we'll spend some time talking with these guys. We'll find out about where they were, what they did, and when it happened. And we hope that some of you have had a chance to see that movie, or if you haven't, that you make plans in the future to buy some tickets and come and see it. Before we even begin tonight, I want to pay special tribute to those people who organized these honor flights, this North Country honor flight and all the honor flights across the nation. In the words of the guys we talked to about 20 minutes ago, it's about time. Stay with us. We'll have a good time. Guess what? You're the first one we're talking to tonight, George Douglas. How are you?
I'm not first very often, Cody.
Well, today you're first. You're always on top of my list, George, that's for sure. This is a fun thing. This North Country honor flight is a good thing.
Oh, definitely.
Have you been on one of the flights yet?
Yes, I have.
When did you go?
The last one.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was in Georgia. Calvin was there.
Certainly see you all.
So tell me about it. What was it like?
Well, it was quite an experience right from the get-go. At the airport, where we assembled, it was a little tearjerker.
Of course, it always is for me.
Yeah, and of course, Bob Brooks. What can you say about Bob Brooks?
What a guy.
He can bring the tears to anybody's eyes when he sings, and he did that day.
Did he really?
Yes. And of course, the other organizations were there. A lot of my family were there, saw me off, and saw me back. So I was quite proud of them.
Did you get some letters from the mailbag? I want to know about that, George.
Unbelievable. I got a stack of letters like that.
Isn't it great? It's just like the old days.
Yeah.
Get the mailbag,
from
call your
children,
name.
and everyone you picked up are there again. They were tearjerkers. These kids just went all out.
I know whole families that spent days and days and days sitting on the floor, writing those cards, making those envelopes, writing all that stuff for you.
They were great.
And they don't have relatives.
Even the politicians.
Even the politicians.
I won't give any names.
So it was a good day. It was a tiring day, but it was a good day.
It was, yeah. I had been to the memorial with my wife's second husband. We go to his reunion every year. And down, of course, a different place. 2 years ago it was in Washington. So I did get down. But it was different circumstances. This was mine. That was his.
That was yours.
Yeah.
This is something you can own.
Yeah. The other one when I went down was his, which I was proud to be there. But this one was mine.
But it's an important feeling, the feeling you get when you stand there at that monument.
Oh, no, you can't help it, Carly. You can't help it. you can't hold it back.
And nor should you. Nor should you. I feel the same way when I go to the Vietnam Memorial or I see the traveling memorial.
Yeah,
So tell us about your service. When did you get in?
well, I'm a latecomer. Under the gun, let's just say. But I enlisted
What year?
45. So I never went overseas. In fact, I went right into division headquarters right off the bat.
Did you really?
So,
They knew you were important, George.
so I did an easy bit.
Well, none of it was easy. You did your time. You did what you had to do. And it took many people, many different levels, many countries. And so you did your thing. So how long did you stay in?
About 18 months.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Now, were you born and brought up here?
I was brought up right across where I told you I was.
Isn't that amazing? This North Country produces some pretty tough stock, I'll tell you that.
That was where I was born, across the road, right there.
Really? Right in the house?
No. I was later than that. I wasn't born in the teens. I was born in the 20s.
20s is good time. Good time to be born in the 20s. So how old were you when you enlisted in 45?
17.
17. Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Did you know what was going to happen? Did they make any promises to you?
No, I didn't look for any. I was just ready to go and I went.
Where'd you do your basic?
Done everything I've done right at Fort Dix, New Jersey.
A lot of people can say that too. How about that?
Yeah. I had just enough. I had just what I wanted in school, and it was what they wanted
Yeah.
and they needed.
Well,
So I was lucky.
it was a perfect circle all the way around.
I have no gripes.
You came back home after it was all over.
Yeah, got married, settled down, went farming, ended up working for the state,
Oh yeah.
like everybody else up here.
Isn't that wonderful?
So,
So you did your thing, and here you are. You made the trip to Washington, and you don't regret having gone, do you?
no, I will go again.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, sometime in my life I will go again.
Well, you're good for another 15 years or so, as much as you can
I'd
squeeze out of it.
I'd like to think so.
Well, you look pretty young to me, George. Thanks so much for talking with us. I'm glad you had a great trip.
Yep, I did.
Have a fine evening
And I'll tell you,
tonight.
the crew that set it together,
They're the best. Danny and the boys,
they are
and the ladies
super.
too. They are just terrific, aren't they? I love it. Thanks again,
Okay,
George.
then.
Thanks for your service, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see you. Have a good evening.
Great.
I don't ask any hard questions. Barry Finnegan, how are you, buddy?
Great.
He's got the cleanest shirt in the room, always dressed to kill. So what's going on here tonight that our viewers should know about?
Well, the big key is the 54 World War II veterans that are on stage. All these people are all coming in here to show their thanks and gratitude for a great job that they did for their country. We think it went quite a while without a lot of that praise, and it's overdue. The other thing that's happening is we're showing the National Honor Flight movie. It's called One Last Mission.
It's a tearjerker. It's a powerful film. I wish every man, woman, and child on the face of this earth could see that at least one time.
I really do. It would change everybody's perception on everything. Everybody needs to see this movie. It's something that you just can't explain.
Did we sell a lot of tickets for this one?
We've got quite a few out, and we're expecting quite a few at the door. So hopefully, if the door fills up, it'll be a sellout.
I don't know how many tickets there are, 800 or something? I forgot.
There's 800. I believe it was like 53 seats in the place. So-
I'll stand.
And there's a balcony.
And there's a balcony too.
Those are the best seats.
Now, this is not an easy thing to organize these events. It's not an easy thing to get all the checkers on the board for the trip to Washington and Baltimore. But when each one is finished, and you talk to these guys, we just interviewed one of the guys and we talked about the mail call,
Oh my gosh.
and his eyes started to tear up.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
to me is so powerful, because I've got some of the V-mail from the Second World War.
Oh, my
My
gosh.
wife's brother was killed in Europe, and And we've got some of the emails that he sent home, those V-mails, those little,
Yep.
half the words are taken out of it by the time it gets home. So this is a big deal.
Oh,
How did you get involved with it in the first place?
I came over to the flight. They were flying out of Albany, and it left at, I believe it was 5 o'clock in the morning. They had to hit the road to catch a plane in Albany. So, a lot of people said they weren't going to go because it was a little bit early and a little bit cold, and thank God all these fellas didn't say that on D-Day.
Yeah, you got it.
But, I went over and I just saw what they did, and personally, I just lost my father about 3 years ago.
Oh, you did?
And he would have eaten this right up. He would have loved it right from the start. He was so outgoing to begin with, and to get involved with a bunch of his comrades would have been unbelievable.
Calvin and I were talking about that earlier on and off the camera tonight. It's too late for some of these guys, but just in time for the rest.
Yes.
Like this group we have here tonight.
We've got a fantastic group. Each person has got a story that you just, if you get to the right spot at the right time, when they feel like talking about it, they've got a story that just, it gets to you every time. And every one of them's got one of those stories, if not more.
It pleases Calvin and me to catch those stories before it is too late.
Exactly.
And to put those stories on the internet so people around the world can see what it's like here in the North Country honor flight.
Yep. No, we're very proud of all of our veterans. And each one, they say, they've all got their story. And the other thing that can happen is quite a few people miss the chance, like you did, my father didn't quite make it, but that doesn't mean we can't take something down to the memorial with us when we go. We have quite a few little ceremonies and honor the people that didn't make it. And each of those people that go, even though they're the ones that make down to the World War Memorial, they're bringing their friends with them. They're thinking of them. They're reminding themselves of past conversations, what happened in the war. It's really quite a sight when you see them down
When's
there.
the next trip?
May 17th. Can't come fast enough.
May 7th?
We got quite a break, but it's hard over the winter months. It's just too cold. It's a very tough situation.
It's amazing to me when we get out there on the former Old Base Oval early in the morning before the sun even thought about getting out of bed, and these guys are getting out of their cars and smiling, and the hot coffee's ready, and the motorcycles are revving up, and the bands are getting ready, and the flag people are ready, and they go and they spend, what does it take, about 15 hours the whole day or longer?
Oh, it's longer than that, yeah. By the time they get up, and it depends where they come from. The September flight, we had a group come out of Malone, and some people were out of Whitehall.
So they got to go home after they get back there.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what, when they come back, I've seen the same thing on every flight. When they come back home, they're coming off that plane, and when they come through that area to back into the airport, and there's a small reception, it's usually not as big as a send-off, of course, but when they come back into those people, they were moving faster on the way back than they were when they left.
Life is made up of memories, and you and I and Calvin and everybody we know have memories from their childhood. But these guys and these gals, because we've sent gals too, have memories that can't be replaced.
No.
That's why we have to capture them here, and that's why you do what you do.
Oh, exactly. No, we're in a short window. We've got to get this done in a hurry. We've got to find the rest of the veterans and get them on a plane and get them down there. It's that important. We don't have a very long time to do this.
You're the best.
Thank you.
I hope you get a little chance to rest this winter. Thanks for chatting with us, my friend.
Oh, anytime.
Thanks
anytime.
for all your
Glad
hard
to.
work.
All right.
See
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Yes, we'll let you go. I know you have so many things to do. Elise Bollier, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm terrific. I want to know about this Freedom Group from Saranac. What have you guys been doing?
The Saranac Freedom Club
Yes.
this is our 10th year, and we support our veterans and our soldiers.
I know you do in so
And-
many ways.
And we're here to support Honor Flight tonight, and here to support our World War II veterans.
So what have you done so far? How did it all start with you?
It started with a food drive in my classroom, in my sociology class for homeless veterans, for can openers, and then it developed into a bigger food drive, and then we decided we'd like to build a handicap ramp for a needy vet, And I always had the North Country Veterans Association come in, and it just kept growing and growing. And one year I decided, well, we should go to Washington, D.C. to see our monuments and see the Vietnam Wall and the World War II Memorial and the other memorials. So, and the club now has 50 members.
Come on. Isn't that wonderful?
It is wonderful, and they're great kids.
They really get into it.
They do. They're very patriotic
I've seen their posters
individuals.
and all the stuff they've done. I spent a
Very proud of them.
weekend interviewing some of the veterans in their homes and taking photographs, and they have to show me all the posters from the kids in Saranac.
We love doing it, and I don't think there's a better thing that you can do or teach kids.
It's one of those feel-good things at the end of the day for you.
It is.
And these kids will never forget you for supporting them in all of this. But something very important is coming up. We're doing this program on the second day of November 2013. And next Friday, right?
Next Friday, there's a Veterans Oral History program at SUNY Canton at 7 o'clock in the Kingston Theater, where they will be introducing our World War II veterans stories into the Library of Congress. And I'm really proud to say that Freedom Club from last year will be inducted also into the Library of Congress.
How did you find out that that was going to happen?
Through Dave Mitchell,
Oh, really?
a World War II veteran.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that great? So I know
Very
you'll
proud.
be there with bells on. All the kids
I
going
will be
too?
there. I have about 20 people coming down to SUNY Canton, and we're really looking forward to being together again. It's a group from last year, my Freedom Club from last year, and their family members.
For our people who might be watching this for the first time and just for the first time learning about North Country Honor Flight, why is what you do with your kids at Saranac so important to you and to them and to these veterans?
Because it's really important that we thank them for their service and their sacrifice, because without them we wouldn't have our freedoms or our liberties.
She didn't have that written down ahead of time either. I mean, but it's so true.
It is
I
very
mean,
true.
we're embarrassed because I speak for myself now as one of the older people in this room. It's been too long coming.
I
Honoring
agree.
these veterans has been too long coming.
I agree. They're
I mean,
wonderful
we had a
people.
Vietnam Wall before we had a World War II.
That is true.
And we've interviewed many of the people who've gone there and come back. And these may be their last poignant memories of their lifetimes and their careers, but it's indelible. It's indelible for you and for me and for all those people. So it is worth it.
Absolutely. One of the best things I've ever done with my life is to honor them.
I knew you were going to say that. How long have you taught?
This is my 14th year, but altogether close to 17.
Whoa! Are you a North Country native?
I am. I'm from Potsdam, New York.
Potsdam is good. I love it. Well, we're grateful you moved to the North Country.
Thank you.
And we're so happy that you're at Saranac and you've done what you've done with the Freedom Club.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, and have a good time for next
Thank
Friday.
you.
See you later.
It's nice seeing you. Thank you.
Pauline Stone is here. How are you, Pauline?
Great.
Isn't this exciting?
Oh, looking forward to it. I hope a lot of people bring their Kleenex.
And they do. How many times have you seen that movie?
Just once, just
Really?
last year. Yep.
Yeah, we saw it last year, and we know all about it, and we've, been fortunate enough to be on this side of the camera with the microphones, talking to the people, and what an impact it has on these veterans.
Oh, it's they love it. They just love it. They're all in the back room. They're waiting to go. We've got 54 of them tonight.
54.
54 veterans. Yes.
Amazing. They show up when the young people stay home because
That's
it's dark
right.
and rainy out.
That's right. Well, I think once they go on a flight, they want to get together again with their comrades, and they just love it. They just love it.
Have you been on 2 flights?
I've been on 2 flights: the September flight and the October flight.
Was the first one what you expected?
It was. We had a tandem flight. We had 2 flights that day.
All about it, yep.
And it really was great, but the second flight was unbelievable because, of course, it was closed down there. The memorial was closed, and
I forgot about that.
it was
What was it like when you got there?
unbelievable. Well, of course, the public wasn't there
Yeah.
as much as it was. The first flight, there were maybe 300 or 400 people
Yeah.
clapping and, wanting to
Yeah,
shake their
yeah,
hand. But this flight, there wasn't that. But the memorial was great. There were 5 other honor flights there from around the country. Okay, but when we got to the Iwo Jima Memorial, it was unbelievable.
Was it?
We tried to go in, it was blocked. Okay,
Here
but
we go.
a policeman got out of his car and said to the bus driver, "If you want to go around the corner, there's people waiting for you."
Come
so
on.
we couldn't imagine who was waiting for us in Washington from Plattsburgh. So we went around the corner. There were at least 20 to 25 veteran motorcycle waiting for us.
Is that amazing?
Okay? We put them in their wheelchairs, the veterans in their wheelchairs, and these big brawny people brought them down the hill to the memorial. Well, as I was coming back, there was this young man mowing the lawn with a push lawnmower. So I went and asked him, I said, "Why in the world are you mowing the lawn this size with a push lawnmower?" He said, "Nobody's taking care of it because it's all closed down. I'm doing it on my own."
Come on.
So I said, "Thank you so much."
Listen, that-
He said, "Don't thank me." He said, "I'm doing this for the vets." He says, "When you get back on that bus, you make sure you thank them." He said, "For what they did."
There's one of those backstories
was-
they say
I know,
about
I know.
Oh, Pauline, that's wonderful.
It was the whole thing. The whole experience was wonderful this last time.
How many hours did you sleep when you got home that night?
Oh, I didn't.
you didn't?
It was just.
You wound up?
Yes, yes. And the mail call they love. They each
We've
get
talked
them.
about the mail call so many times, and most of our young viewers have no clue what we're talking about. The mail call was important to them when they were in the service
That's
back in
right.
the 1940s, and now with all the families and little kids making cards and writing letters,
Yep, they just love it. We contact their family. Their families contact members of their families. They all write. Veterans get at least 50 to 75 letters apiece for mail call.
Think about it.
And during mail call, they look at it and there's tears coming down their face. They say, how did they know? How did they? And some of them say, "I never knew that they felt this way about me." That is just. And then when we landed in Plattsburgh last time, the fire department had all the lights. We could see as we're flying in the red lights flashing from the fire department. We got out of the plane, and there was the fife and drum were there. There was probably 150 people to greet them, clapping, shaking hands. And I looked over, and I was flight leader on this flight, and I looked over, and there was one veteran sitting there, and he had tears coming down his eyes. So I said to him, I said, "Oh my," I said, "is there something wrong?" He just said, "I never knew so many people cared."
well, and for so many years they did not know that so many people cared. We've talked about it a million times before, but it's important to mention that the experience for some of these people was so horrific that they never even told their wives about it, or their kids or their grandchildren. Now the stories are finally being told and are being archived, and now we understand that some of them are going to be in the Library of Congress.
That's right. As a matter of fact, the 8th, next Friday, we're going to Canton.
We just got the word. Isn't
Yes,
it
and they're going to be in the
wonderful?
Library of Congress ceremony, and it's wonderful. And a lot of them don't talk about it. Their families don't even know their stories. But when they get together on these flights, they talk, they start opening up.
Isn't it great?
It's just unbelievable.
It's like 70 years just get peeled away.
It is. It's just, and they're so grateful. They are just so grateful. It's
If we do nothing else on Hometown Cable in the course of this programs and the other ones we'll be doing for the North Country Honor Flight, it's to point out how important it is to do this now at this point in time.
It is.
To show our humiliation that it wasn't done all those years ago. But we must continue as long as there are veterans to go on these
That's
flights.
true, and most of them are in their 90s. I mean, we've still got close to 600 in this area we have to find, so they can
Close
go
to
down.
600?
Close to 600 in this area that we're trying to find. So if anybody knows World War II veterans, to contact Honor Flight.
How do
Because
they contact Honor Flight? Should they call you, Pauline, or Danny, or somebody?
they call Danny, or you can go right online to honorflight@charter.net, okay? But it's capital H, capital F, Honor Flight. Or they can call me, at 562-8598.
You're not afraid to give her phone number out.
Anything for honor flight, I'm telling you.
I know
It's
you
just-
enjoy
it's
every
great.
minute of this.
Oh,
and
it's
you're-
wonderful.
You are a very special lady.
Wonderful.
Pauline, thanks so much for chatting.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much for promoting
We're
us.
delighted. Have a great evening.
Okay, you
See
too.
later.
Thank you.
Well, it certainly has been a lot of fun tonight to be at Hawkins Hall for this honor flight performance, to watch the movie and to see that 50 some odd of these wonderful World War II veterans have been gathered here from almost from the four corners of the North Country to greet the public, who have each paid a modest amount for a ticket to come in and watch this very special movie. And you know what they used to say in the Army, there are always a few that don't get the word. And there are people who don't know much about honor flight. So I hope in watching this program tonight with Calvin and me on Hometown Cable, you get an idea how dedicated the younger people are in remembering on behalf of the older people in the North Country honor flights. They've had several flights so far, and they'll have another one in May, and it's been a kick to cover it so far, Calvin.
We managed to be there for just about all their events, and they had 4 dates, and they called it 5 flights because one was a double plane out of there in September. But it's been spectacular. They're going to have 54 people, veterans that are supposed to be here tonight. They'll be marching through here, and I thought that would be a rather unique parade to catch them marching by here from this corner.
People are gathering inside the Hawkins Hall Auditorium. For those people who are not from Plattsburgh or the North Country, you might not know the history of this austere place. It was destroyed in about 28 minutes in a horrendous fire back in the 1920s, and it, like the phoenix that rose from the ashes, was rebuilt and became the focal point of what is now called SUNY Plattsburgh. It was called the Normal School, the Teacher School, Plattsburgh State, and all the things that you can imagine just since I moved here in 1961. But then they rehabilitated the entire building a few years ago.
Right here. And so when I called the parade to attention, it was in arms. I don't know if you guys want to scoot over to get a better
That's terrific. We'll get you right on screen. We'll make sure you're in it. The guys will be coming by here and marching into the back of the auditorium behind the curtain quietly, so that the audience out there in Hawkins Hall will be surprised, I hope, and thrilled when the curtains part.
Well, and tonight is one of their fundraisers, and they've had great support, but they've got very ambitious plans here to send maybe 7 or 8 more flights in 2014. And as Pauline said, we're still looking for 600 veterans. So any World War II veteran who hasn't seen their World War II monument is welcome to contact the honor flight people. And anybody who would like to help out financially or physically, they need a lot of volunteers.
Help. They need guardians for every one of these people on every single flight.
And the guardians pay their own way too. So
It's amazing.
So it's just an incredible thing. But if people want to help out financially, please feel free to step up and contact the North Country Honor Flight folks, because they're very deserving. And we can't say enough about their efforts.
It's amazing how so many different individuals and groups have come together. It's something that I have heralded ever since I moved here in 1961 to start a radio career. When there is a need, North Country people, and this isn't the richest place in the world, especially here in Clinton County. A lot of good rural agricultural stock here, but people know what it's like to help out their families and other people's families when there is a time of need. And there aren't very many people who are listening to this and watching our program or in attendance here tonight who don't know of a World War II veteran, somebody who served, somebody who died. You've heard people talk about their fathers and grandfathers and their great-grandfathers already tonight. So it behooves all of us to at least give our mental support and hopefully some of our monetary support in the form of a check to help these North Country honor flights. I will never forget the first time we did a program with them in the upper room, and we went in there and we heard them talking, and I said to myself, what is this going to be all about?
Yeah, well, We'd heard, we must have caught it in the newspapers. We saw a couple stories and articles, and you and I kind of had the same thought at the same time. We've got to be a part of this.
Got to do it.
Yeah,
We had interviewed World War II veterans before because we realized the importance of it. And for those young people who haven't taken time to sit down and think about it, it's been mentioned a couple of times here tonight that many of these veterans are already over 90 years of age. When you stop to think of how long ago 1942 was,
Well, 1945,
1945,
Mr. Douglas was 17, so he's 85.
Yep.
So do the math. These are young ones.
Yes.
85 and up. Here they come.
So here they come. They're going to be going into the auditorium behind the screen. It'll be nice and quiet in there until the curtain is opened, and then there'll be a huge thrill. And then when I see, the movie, hear what he said? Like the Army, hurry up and wait. These are crusty guys and tough guys, and if the story gets fully told, you find out that some of them have almost literally been to hell and back. So that's why we're thrilled and delighted. And if any of our viewers haven't had a chance to see all those memorials and those monuments in Baltimore and in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, plan a trip to do that. I mean, before many of these memorials were even thought of, I used to take my kids there and my wife and grandchildren way back when to Washington, D.C. to see what it was that makes our nation tick, to go to the Smithsonian and all the other museums and to climb the Washington Monument. And by the way, Calvin, I saw on the news that the monument has been almost totally repaired and will be finally open again in the spring after the damages that were caused last year in the Washington Monument. So it's great. It's like seeing the Statue of Liberty for the first time and climbing up into the Statue of Liberty and seeing what it's like to look out the torch and so on. So we're gathered in the hallway here, and yes, it's not the most beautiful day in the world on March 2nd, not March 2nd, but November 2nd on a Saturday, drizzly and rainy, less windy than it was on the 1st of the month, the day after Halloween, but these guys are here. And if they couldn't drive here, somebody had to bring them here. And those are other people that we want to salute for paying attention to North Country Honor Flight.
And it's amazing. We were there for that first flight, and then the second, and so on. And how many of those who went on those previous flights keep showing up to honor their comrades as they leave on their flights?
Isn't it? Give them an idea what they can be in for and all about it, and it's just...
Gentlemen, we're moving out. Quiet, please. Let's go.
Danny Kravitz. Yeah, he's the guy.
We're all out of jail.
If you don't watch these guys and say this is indeed the greatest generation. Yeah.
Easy, Vivian. I can't walk that.
Talk about survivors. The ladies and the gentlemen. It's one thing to read about it in the books and the papers and remember the photographs in Life magazine. It's another thing to watch it happen right here, to hear these people tell their stories in their own words and to watch those sharp salutes as they go by.
Gary.
I'm sorry. Danny and Kafitz is always the drill master, always the drill sergeant, telling people exactly where to walk, how to get there, where to be seated when they come inside. This is part of the overall experience for them, and it doesn't just last one day when they go to Washington and Baltimore. It lasts for the rest of their lifetimes, added to the memories they've already accumulated over the last 70-odd years.
That's another stage.
What's even more amazing is some of the uniforms still fit. I laughed when I met some of them a few minutes ago. They kept the mothballs away and the uniforms still fit.
Those youngsters don't know the story of Robert Booth, who just went by.
Prisoner of war. How many times have we heard him talk about it? How many times have we sat in his living room as he brought back these the yellow pads of paper?
All right, we better relocate if we're going to catch these guys when the stage opens up.
Let's do it.
Second showing of One Last Mission. Its turnout is overwhelming, and it is the support the entire North Country has given the honor flight and our veterans throughout the entire year. We wish to thank the State University of New York at Plattsburgh for co-sponsoring this event and for all their assistance in putting this together and providing such a perfect setting for honoring our World War II vets. We also ask that you please remain in your seating area and keep the aisles clear when the movie is completed to allow our World War II veteran guests of honor to make their way out of the auditorium into the lobby. Also, please check your tickets as you leave to see if you won our door prize. The winning number will be displayed in the lobby. Also, if you didn't bring any Kleenex, Mike Farrell is selling them in the parking lot for $15 a box. Just look for the camo school bus with the big Michigan painted on the side. But you better hurry, Danny Barber already bought 3 boxes. I would like to start this evening out the way every public event in America should begin. Would all veterans in the audience, active duty military, reservists, National Guard members, and ROTC cadets, please stand and let's hear it for the defenders of our nation. Now let me tell you a little about our heroes on this stage tonight. They stormed the beaches, manned the tanks, flew the giant warbirds, and sailed the mighty Navy ships. They are not only the memory of America's greatness, they are the reason for it. They did the impossible, faced the unimaginable, and won unconditionally. And when they came home, America was too busy to notice. So they put away their uniforms and their medals in dusty old attics, and alongside their war gear, they also stored their memories. When no one else cared, it became their duty to preserve these memories as a sacred tribute to those who fought alongside them but never returned. For almost 7 decades, the uniforms, the medals, and the memories lay dormant. And now we have awakened those memories. We have a magnificent memorial paying tribute to those who won the greatest victory in our nation's history, and to those heroes that paid the ultimate price in securing that victory. The war memories are both jubilant and heartbreaking. One cannot be separated from the other. In sharing these memories with our Honor Flight veterans, in bringing them to their memorial, we have proven to them their sacrifices will never be forgotten. We have confirmed that America cares, and that we are finally ready to listen and to honor them. Honor Flight does not start or stop on a runway, nor is it about one trip to the memorial or a single tribute. It is about awakening in all of us, across our community, across our state, and across our nation, the respect and admiration so long put on hold. The recognition for the valor and courage that was the common bond of these young men and women when America called upon them to serve. An overdue thank you, unspoken for so long, for making the world a better place to live in for each and every one of us, and a better place and safer place to raise our children. Many have now brought their uniforms and medals down from the dusty attics. Let us also encourage them to bring out the memories from their vaults locked for so long. No other generation could ever be a finer collection of role models in a troubled time when our country needs real heroes so desperately. Even today, they are still serving. Honor Flight World War II Honor Guards have been present at a number of military funerals this year, including 2 for our own Honor Flight veterans. The magnitude of these tributes and the impact on the families of these fallen heroes has been extremely moving. Our Honor Flight veterans have spoken at schools, literally changing the lives of young students and instilling a personal brand of love of country that they will never forget. We have done so many parades and appearances you might think it would become a burden for them, but it never does. What makes them so different? If a single event answered that question for me, it would be meeting one of our World War II vets last spring, a Marine combat veteran who fought at the Battle of Okinawa. After spending time at his home in Mineville with Colonel George King, we signed him up for the Honor Flight. As we left, I shook his hand and thanked him for his service to his country. John said, "You don't have to thank me, son. I was just doing my duty. We all were." That sound familiar? Well, then he looked at me and said something I will never forget. We were born for this. Imagine feeling the reason you were born, your entire life's purpose, was to answer the call of duty and defend your country in its hour of greatest peril. To fight for freedom and liberty and lay your life on the line for others. That if you died on a battlefield at 19 or lived to be 99 did not matter. Your life and your destiny had been predetermined by providence, not by chance or circumstance. That you would save the world or die trying. This is why these veterans of our greatest generation are all heroes. They were born for this. They gave their best for you. They gave their best for America. 404,810 of them gave all and never returned. Now you can give your best by honoring them, by never forgetting their sacrifices and the price they paid for our freedom. I would like to leave you with some stirring words from Ernie Pyle, Pulitzer Prize winner and the greatest war correspondent of World War II. Better than any other, he conveyed the triumphs and hardships of the common soldier trying to survive a brutal war. From North Africa, Sicily, Italy, and Normandy, then on to the Pacific, where he lost his life on the island of Iwo Jima during the Battle of Okinawa, April 18, 1945, just a few months before the war ended. Bill Thompson, Honor Flight World War II Navy veteran, was there when Ernie Pyle died and the American GIs lost the best friend they ever had. That is our war, and we will carry it with us as we go from one battleground to another. Until it is all over, we will win. I hope we can rejoice with victory, but humbly. That all together we will try out of the memory of our anguish to reassemble our broken world into a pattern so firm and so fair that another great war can never be possible. And for those beneath the wooden crosses, there is nothing we can do except to pause and murmur, "Thanks, pal, thanks." Now it is my distinct privilege to introduce 54 of our North Country Honor Flight World War II veterans. Among those on stage tonight, 2 were awarded the Silver Star for conspicuous gallantry in action, the 3rd highest medal for valor in the United States after the Service Crosses and Medal of Honor. And 3 were prisoners of war who faced as great a sacrifice as any could make for their country. They are all heroes, every single World War II veteran on this stage, the North Country's finest. Veterans, please stand when your name is called. Francis G. Delumier, United States Army. Kenneth D. Mitchell, Army Air Corps. Dylan I. Howells, United States Marine Corps. Robert E. Crew, United States Army. Hayden R. Ray, United States Army. Robert O. Brooks, United States Navy. Rodney L. Wright, United States Army. Charles W. Smith, United States Army. Dean Lynch, United States Navy. United States Navy. John D. West, United States Navy. Paul E. Devo, Army Air Corps. Chris S. Clifford, Army Air Corps. Ross N. Boudier, United States Army. Francis E. Bushy, United States Army. Dorothy C. LeClaire, United States Army. Robert W. Strong, United States Navy. Douglas O. Brown, Army Air Corps. Ralph P. Hubble, Army Air Corps. Dominic J. Camello, United States Army. Charles F. Austin, United States Coast Guard. Clarence J. Bushy, United States Army. Paul W. Passon, United States Navy. Tony J. DeFebo, United States Army. Bernard T. Duffy, Army Air Corps. Robert F. Fitzwater, Army Air Corps. Antonio J. Gagliardi, United States Navy. Albert T. Goki, United States Navy. Paul N. Gordon, United States Navy. Vivian E. Gregware, United States Army. Henry F. Gurney, United States Army. Robert P. Lewis, Army Air Corps. Hazel W. Matthews, United States Army. Conrad R. Peterson, United States Marine Corps. William G. Lowe, Army Air Corps. Leslie H. Reynolds, United States Army. James F. Rochester, United States Army. Charles D. Waterman, United States Navy. Curtis J. Banker, United States Army. Benjamin R. Ransom, United States Army. George B. Douglas, Army Air Corps. Carl D. Hobbs, United States Navy. George L. LaTulip, Army Air Corps. Robert A. LeClaire, United States Navy. Sherman J. Gage, Army Air Corps. Earl D. Schmidt, United States Army. John P. Rasmussen, United States Marine Corps. Armin E. Nashbauer, United States Army. Joseph E. St. Dennis, United States Navy. Joseph J. DeMarco, United States Navy. Arthur R. Pulsifer, United States Army. John F. Kennedy, United States Navy. Let's hear it for the North Country Honor Flight. Please remain standing for taps. Representing all World War II vets who are no longer with us is a photograph of Donald Charles Peck, United States Army, as a tribute to the 15 million that have passed away. Now please salute for taps. veterans off the stage to join with their spouses and families. Special honor flight experience we'd like to share with you. Prior to our September 14th flights, I received a call from one of our volunteers at BWI Airport telling us about a young lady from Maryland who has been greeting honor flights as they arrive at Baltimore since she was old enough to stand up. Her 7-year-old, Mackenzie Mackey, her lifelong dream had been to accompany her heroes all the way to their memorial in Washington. North Country Honor Flight made that happen on September 14th and again on October 12th as she spent the entire day with our veterans on both honor flights. It's almost impossible to describe the bond between this young lady and our World War II veterans, so we're going to let you see for yourself. We provide the honor and the respect. Mackenzie provides the love. This is our honor flight angel. Now it is my very special privilege to introduce to you our guest of honor tonight. Accompanied by her dad, United States Navy Petty Officer First Class, Matthew Mackey. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mackenzie. Hi, Mackenzie.
Hi, Danny.
We are very pleased to have you here tonight, and you look just lovely.
Thank you.
Now tell us a little about your bear.
He was a gift from North Country on our flight on my first trip to Washington, D.C. And his name is Admiral Teddy Bear.
Wow, he's a real admiral, so he can give your dad orders?
Yeah, if he wanted to.
Well, you know, I used to be very good at following orders, but not so much anymore.
That doesn't surprise me.
I understand you were a guardian on our last flight. Did you take care of your bear?
No, he was fine. They told me to take care of you.
Well, you did a very good job. Now, let's get serious and tell everybody who your favorite honor flight director in the whole world is.
You are.
Thank you, Mackenzie.
You told me to say that. It's true.
Do you have anything you'd like to tell our audience?
Yes. To all the veterans, thank you for your service. You are my heroes. And to all the World War II veterans, I love you.
Very well done, Mackenzie. Let's hear it for our honor flight angels. If all kids in America loved their country like she did, we would have a very bright future. Are you ready for a movie, Mackenzie?
Yes.
Well, let's go.
Well, we just watched the movie here at Hawkins Hall, and the World War II veterans and their friends and relatives and guardians, some of whom have been on the North Country honor flights to Washington and back, some who haven't gone again and won't go until the next honor flight in May, are coming out, and they'll be leaving for this evening. We're here at about 10 minutes after 9, but it won't be 10 minutes after 9 for very long because the clocks will be falling back this year. And don't forget to put your clocks back. I'm sure by the time you watch this, the clocks have already gone. But one of the great things that we leave that movie with is a line uttered by one of the guys who went on an honor flight, who said each day is a bonus. These people in their 80s and 90s are delighted to be alive, to have served their country, and finally to be honored for their service all those years ago during World War II. As we saw in the movie, as many as 900 of those World War II veterans are leaving us for the great beyond every day. By now the number is higher because this movie that we watched tonight was made a few years ago in Wisconsin, honoring some of the early flights. How are you? And so we're losing a lot more than that, and it won't be many more years from now that most of these World War II veterans will not be with us any longer. And I understand the honor flights will then move on to the Korean conflict and the Vietnam conflict. So it is an extreme pleasure for us to be here tonight to honor these World War II veterans and their families and supporters. There aren't too many dry eyes in the house after the movie is shown because it's beautiful and sad and happy all at the same time. And these flights in Wisconsin with huge airplanes bringing hundreds of people to Washington, D.C. are on a different scale than we have here in the North Country. But you know what? It's just important to those people who are here as it was for those guys in Wisconsin. And it was a nice crowd tonight. The place wasn't full. They could have sold well over 800 tickets and might have, but the weather is a little bit inclement out there. Today was one of those dark and drizzly days after high winds in the North Country. But you know what? The spirits are still high here tonight as these people leave this movie for the North Country Honor Flight at Hawkins Hall on November 2nd, 2013. I've been to a lot of functions at Hawkins Hall over the years, but never anything I don't think as important to me personally as it is to be here with the Honor Flight people who organized it, those people who support it. It takes a lot of effort, but then these guys and these ladies expended a lot of effort too along the way.
Like we might have a volunteer.
I think we got somebody to talk to. Come on over and say hello. I wish I had a hat like you got.
Well,
I love it.
yeah, thanks, Gordy.
How are you?
Not bad for an old man.
Hey, Russ, you're a young guy. Russ Ransom, right?
Yeah, right?
Where'd you get that hat?
My son from Texas sent it to me.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All the way from, they had some bad weather in Texas yesterday.
Yes,
12
yeah.
inches of rain in some areas.
Yes, yes.
So, Russ, have you and I ever met before?
Yes, I think so.
Not more than 200 or 300 times.
Yes. Yeah. And I've seen you on television 100
Oh,
times.
just a couple of times.
Yeah.
Just another old fat guy, Russ. So did you go on the flight yet, or are you going to go?
Oh, no, I've been on the flight.
You did? How was it?
Oh, it was out of this world.
Well, it was above this world anyway.
Oh, it was great. And Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, the ceremony I thought was very, very good. And my daughter took me.
Hi there, lady. Get over here.
This is Mary Beth.
Hi, Mary Beth.
Hi, how are you?
Who's this guy over your shoulder?
My husband,
That's
Tom.
her husband, Tom.
He's the one, Tommy's directing all the traffic.
Yep,
So
he
get
is.
over there. You got to talk to Gordy.
Right.
Yeah.
So when did you go? When was the flight you were on?
We went October 12th.
Oh, you did? Yes. And that's when I was on my way to Georgia and I missed it, and Calvin and Judy were there. A little closer? Okay, we're just getting out of the way here. So tell me about it. Was it fun?
Yes.
You didn't go,
Oh,
Tony,
yeah.
did you?
It was a great,
Wanted to go, but Russell wanted Mary Beth.
great experience.
No, it was a really nice experience for him. I think that he was a little hesitant to go, but I think once he went and got to see the other vets that went with him and stuff, and it was pretty emotional. It was a good.
You didn't realize you were quite so special, did you, buddy boy?
Well, I've been getting a lot of praise.
Well, you deserve it.
You deserve it now that you're going to be 64 years old pretty
Yes,
soon.
and I'm 92.
91.
91 and a half. and,
Mark down from 95, 95.
I was sitting next to a nurse. She was 92.
Yeah. Oh, in the back.
Yeah.
Back here.
Okay, we're going to go now, Gordy.
It's so nice to see you. I'm so glad you enjoyed your flight. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Don't forget to set your clock back tonight
Yes,
before you
yes.
go to bed.
I'm on vacation.
Oh, you don't care? See you later, Russ.
Okay.
Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
See you, Tommy. Have a good one.
Here, turn around and say hello to
Or there will be. The next one, we're here in early November, and the next flight won't be until May, because it's kind of hard to get these people going in the wintertime. It's very difficult for the volunteers and those people who are guardians to go and pick them up, because they live as far away as Ticonderoga and Waylandsburg and Willsboro and Keysville. So they have to be brought here for these events. And here, as I said, it's coming up on 9:30 in the evening, and then these people have to go home and get some rest. But you know what? These are part of all the memories that North Country Honor Flight has for them. That's why Calvin and I wear our Honor Flight jackets proudly and our hats, and most of those people who know me are fully aware of the fact. Yeah, get over here.
Yes, sir.
So,
What?
let's talk about your trip home.
Oh, you mean tonight?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. It's going to take me about almost 2 hours.
I can believe it.
And I have six of those World War II veterans that are just smiling and laughing and enjoying themselves.
So you'll have at least 3 or 4 stops along the way.
Oh yeah. One carried a bottle with him just in case.
Sometimes I wish I had one on the hip, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
So where do these guys live that you got to take home?
Well, there's one in Ticonderoga.
Gotcha. That's near your house.
Yes, one in Hewlett's Landing, which
my
is south of me.
Yeah.
One from the Bolton Landing area, and then 3 of them out of Whitehall.
Bolton Landing is even far.
Whether.
How far? That's almost Lake George, isn't it?
Well, it's halfway between Ticonderoga and Lake George.
My
Yes,
God.
yeah.
You're the man.
Well,
But at least you're in a van instead of on your motorcycle.
I know. I couldn't fit them all on the motorcycle.
I asked you before, but I'm going to ask you again. How did you first get involved in this?
Well, I'm not really sure.
Sometimes things creep up on you, you know?
No, I went to the first meeting. I remember that Danny was looking for the Motorcycle Association, and I was was a commander, so it was a natural for him to call me. And I had a couple of the other motorcycle guys. I think on our first trip we escorted. We had about 40 motorcycles.
Oh, how well I know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I don't know how you must have had 7 layers on that first trip.
I'm telling you, it was cold. 34 degrees when we left Plattsburgh.
All the way to Albany.
At 70 miles an hour.
I know.
Yeah, it was a little chilly.
And none of the flags went off the back of the bikes either.
No, I know. Well, we couldn't go 72. We'd have lost one.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You guys are the best. Have a great flight tonight. It's good. Always good to see you.
Thank you. And you
I
folks
enjoy
too.
it.
Thank you
I
for
think
everything
for
you do.
See you
We
later, my
appreciate
friend.
it. Okay,
Be
good. We'll see you May 17th.
Oh, we'll be around, that's
Okay.
for sure.
Thank you.
Lord willing, and if the creek doesn't rise, as they say. There's so many hands. They say too many cooks spoil the broth, but in the case of the North Country Honor Flight, the more people, the merrier. And it is a very happy and merry crowd here tonight at Hawkins Hall, the E. Glenn Gilch Auditorium, as they show the special film indicating how these honor flights began and what they're all about. So many of our friends are here tonight. We know they're supporters, and other people are related to or friendly with the World War II veterans who have come to be honored here tonight. It's so nice when the curtain opens to see these World War II vets on the stage and to be introduced. Every single name is read. And then when the little girl came out and was mentioned as the North Country Honor Flight Angel, that was all wonderful again. So it's a very special event, and we're pleased at Hometown Cable to be a part of it. Danny Capitz, as usual, is directing traffic in the lobby, telling people where they should be and how to get out. Then he's got his 3-piece suit on. I should have mentioned that before. He's looking good in his tux. We're trying to make sure that all the people are taken care of and that they'll be put back in their vehicles and sent on their way to their homes. It's not as sheer bedlam as it looks, folks. It's just people having good times, people enjoying honoring their relatives and friends who served their country so darn well during that war that they thought would end all wars, as the First World War was. And it took a long time to get over, but then the troops came home. And that's what we're here for, honoring them. And here's the little gal that was honored on the stage as the angel. She's beautiful. She's got her little bear that the North Country Honor Flight gave her. Danny, can we talk to her on television?
Yes. Mackenzie, this is Gordy Little. He'd like to
Gordy
talk to you.
Little, how are you?
Good.
What was
Show him what you just got. Show him what you just got. Mackenzie just earned her wings.
You earned your wings? Wow! I thought you were very special up on the stage tonight. You should be in a play somewhere. That was beautiful. Did you like to go on the big airplane? Was it fun?
Yeah.
I forgot. Where do you live?
Fort Wayne, Maryland.
Do you really? Who's going to take you home tonight? You're not going to drive the car, are you?
No.
I love your bear.
Thank you.
What grade are you in?
Second grade.
Come on, you can't be already.
Yeah.
Are you 7 years old?
Almost 8.
Almost 8 years old. That's wonderful. I love your wings, and I think you're very special. Thank you for talking with us.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
I will.
Bye-bye. All right, Danny.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about tonight?
I thought it went pretty well, Gordy.
You're amazing.
No, these guys are amazing.
I know, but just beautiful. Jimmy Rochester, how are you, buddy?
Well, I'm doing great.
You didn't fall asleep up on the stage.
No, I didn't.
Isn't that wonderful? It's marvelous. Danny, it gets better every time.
Well, maybe we're getting better at it, but we had a pretty good crew up there. It was something from the stage to look and see the number of people we had up there. This was 54 World War II vets in one place. I think anybody who wasn't here tonight missed something that may not happen again.
You know, and standing in the back and watching the movie again.
I get on this camera every time I turn around.
Everybody's on Gordy's camera.
You know better than that, Jim.
I know.
He's an old hand at this. He's done it before. But you know what, Danny? You can feel the love.
Well,
you watch the movie, you can feel the love.
You know what I noticed tonight, and it's just my take on this. I might see it differently. For me, what made me feel this was a good event is I couldn't tell where our part ended and the movie started. It was about one honor flight experience. We used to look up to Stars and Stripes in Wisconsin in the 747s as that's the major leagues and we're just a small town.
Guess what?
Today it didn't feel like that. It felt like what we did prior to the movie, our veterans on stage, Mackenzie, the Honor Flight Angel, and these heroes, was as integral a part of tonight as the movie was. It's one effort.
Picture of me with that Mackenzie.
You better do it quick. She's already got a press agent. I know. Gordy, I got to talk to some of my
do
guys.
it. Have a wonderful
Calvin,
night.
excellent job as usual.
Thanks again for all you do, my friend.
Nice jacket.
Oh, thank you. That's Danny Kafitz. It seems like only yesterday when we were talking with Danny about getting ready for the first honor flight. And here we are at 9:30 in the evening on the second day of November 2013, wrapping up another wonderful occasion. Hundreds and hundreds of people and veterans crammed into the E. Glenn Giltz Auditorium at Hawkins Hall. And they'll all be finding their way home tonight. And then a few months from now, hopefully after all the snow is gone in May, there will be another flight. And Calvin and I have been promised that we should get our duds packed and prepared to take one of these flights to Washington, D.C. We would be thrilled to be on an airplane sometime so we could chronicle this from the beginning to the end. I want to thank Danny Kavitz and all the other volunteers and the people who have donated money to make this program successful and to help us continue with North Country honor flights far into the future. I want to thank all the people who are here tonight. I want to thank all the volunteers inside and outside this community who have written those generous checks to help support the North Country honor flights. Most of all, I want to thank our North Country viewers and those people around the world who watch our little corner on Hometown Cable on the internet at hometowncablenetwork.com and plattsburgh.com. Of course, my thanks to the guy who's wielding that tripod and camera, Kelvin Castine, for keeping Hometown Cable in people's minds and on their television sets since the early 1980s. It's been a pleasure for me to be part of that and doing hundreds of programs like this and others. We always enjoy your comments and suggestions. We appreciate your monetary support. If you'd like to support Hometown Cable, please write a generous check and send it to Calvin Castine in care of Hometown Cable on the Ridge Road in Champlain. It'll help us do this program far into the future. And I'd like to end every one of our programs on this note. Who knows where we're going to be next time?